Hi, this is Melanie, and I'm here with my review of the Malayalam film Trance, starring Fahadh Faasil. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do film reviews and trailer reactions of Indian cinema. Trance finally came to the United States. It had released in Kerala a week or so ago. The trailer and the song that was released for this film were just kind of mind-blowing. We couldn't really tell what exactly Fahadh Faasil's part was, that he seemed to be some kind of motivational speaker. What was key about this film is that it's a return to cinema of the director of Ustad Hotel. This is his first film in 7 years. Anwar Rasheed directed the film, but the script was actually by Vincent Vadakkan. It has an amazing ensemble cast: Vinayakan, Dileesh, Pothan, the return of Nazriya on screen with her husband Fahadh, and notably Gautham, Menon, and Chemban Vinod. It was amazing. But Fahadh, of course, this is really a one-man show of a movie. He gives this amazing performance, and the beginning of the film, there's a lot of psychological aspects and exploration of the long-lasting trauma of mental illness in a family. I wasn't really expecting that in this film. So to me, some of those were parts of the film that really touched me deeply. I gasped out loud when, if you've seen the film, the point when Fahadh comes home and reads the note from his brother, and then what happens immediately after that just made me gasp out loud. The first half is amazing, and as you may have heard, the second half kind of loses its way, is long, is slow, and I don't think conveys the ideas that maybe the filmmakers are trying to. It's so kind of opaque and abstract that I wasn't really sure where they were going, and the ending was just kind of but definitely worth seeing. It's audacious filmmaking, because really Fahadh transforms himself when these sort of corporate people, played by Gautham Menon and Chemban Vinod, cast him as a faith healer preacher. And it's like mega church, ultra produced, just another level. So I heard that they did this film in sync sound. It's amazing. You know, Fahadh spends a lot of time yelling and just performing as this faith healer preacher. He has to go through a crash course on the Bible, because he doesn't even really know anything, to be able to at least say the catchphrases and quote scripture a little bit. And that's Dileesh. Pothan's role is to get him up to scratch. And oh my gosh, I really loved his character. It looked like he was having a lot of fun with it. I mean, it's kind of a negative character, but I really enjoyed him in this. Gautham Menon and Chemban Vinod are kind of mysterious. I don't know enough about how religion is in India, and by that I mean that in America there's tax-free not-for-profit status for churches and religious institutions. So there's a lot of controversy about that because of, for instance, Scientology, which I don't view as a religion, I view it as a cult. But anyway, it has very murky finances, and that's the thing, is that if you call yourself a church, then in the United States, then you're exempt from paying taxes. And so, you know, it leads to some shady stuff. We have our own mega churches, and it's kind of called Christianity of prosperity. I mean, if you think of Christ, and he's not preaching about how to get more wealth. He's talking about things like a wealthy man, it's harder for him than get a camel through the eye of a needle. You know, I mean, to me, it's a perversion of what Christianity is, and I think that's part of the message of this film, because it's all about we saw in the trailer when Fahadh comes out in the fancy suit and whatever. I mean, there's Rolls Royces, it really gets into the wealth and the business of religion. This was kind of the night of Gautham Menon, because I actually did a double feature. I saw Trance, and then I saw Dulquer's new Tamil film, Kanam KKK. Let's just say, I can't pronounce the last word. But anyway, he plays a cop in that film, and I'm not sure that I've ever seen him on screen, and I was so impressed both performances. He's quite mysterious in this film, in Trance, but he has this presence about him, and I really loved him in this film. Vinayakan is one of my favorite actors in Malayalam cinema. He has the role of a very humble man. I don't want to spoil exactly what his part is in the film, but the way he can convey these emotions on his face. It was a very short role, and that's kind of the amazing thing about this film, is you have some of the finest actors willing to do very short screen time size parts, and that really adds to the tapestry that this director is weaving. I was a little disappointed the relationship of Nazriya's character and Fahadh. I just felt like, I was just like, why exactly was she in this movie? And I just really found the second half kind of confusing as to what was trying to be said. And I felt like they had this incredible setup, these characters and the situation, and then I'm not sure they knew quite how to end the film. It's still worth seeing. I just admire how different the subject matter is, how they're really trying to tackle some big issues. Admire it, just not the perfect film, but above average. And of course, Fahadh was just incredible. I mean, he's always incredible. Each role is so different. Even within a role, his body posture, he doesn't have to say the words. You can just tell what he's feeling just by the way he's carrying his shoulders and his body. And then when he becomes so successful, and just, wow. He continues to amaze me. Okay, there's something about Trance that just almost made me fall off my chair. And that is when Fahadh Faasil's character is supposed to become famous around the world, they show an image of the Chicago theater in downtown Chicago with, they've digitally altered the marquee to have his church on there. And then they show an electronic billboard with him on the side of a highway that I could go on all the time. So it just blew my mind. Like, that was their one example of his worldwide domination, was Chicago. I would love to know how that was chosen and what their connection there was for that, because that was just kind of funny to me. One notable thing about this movie is the incredible soundtrack. Oh my gosh. I was listening to it all the way home on Soubin. The mix, the soundscape of the background score, but especially like the title track and a couple of other tracks, just the weaving of sounds and sitar and kind of dance club beats, and I don't know, it's just one of the most incredible, really different kind of music, just like a step above. It's really quite something. That's one of the best things about the film to me. Love to know what you thought about this film in the comments below, especially the second half. Were you as confused and kind of like, what as I was about it? Especially that ending, like, I don't know. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer reaction or film review.